Hey there, Matt Heggelund, Product Manager, MPOWR Envision. Excited to be back with another release video. This time we're going to be talking about our timeline view for our work center. Much requested feature from a lot of our customers and users out there, so we are excited to finally get this one knocked out on our roadmap, and let's take a look. So up across the top here, I'm going to click into my work center. And what we're going to notice now is some different icons up the top here. So I'm on my calendar view, which we released a few months ago. Now I'm going to be able to toggle it over to timeline view. And now I'm viewing our timeline view. So one quick thing to point out here before we dive in is we're using the quick filters right now. So it's set to my work, which is the default. So it's going to show me anything right now that the user I'm logged in as in the upper right corner, Susan Harris, owns across any of the plans that she owns work. So as we take a look at the timeline view, you're kind of going to get the feel of it being sort of a light Gantt chart where you can kind of do some project management type visualizations and adjustments here as needed. The first thing we're going to take a look at is in the upper right corner. I can do it based on week or month, meaning that the time period across the top here is going to show me when it's set to week, is going to show me weekly time periods, up to 6 of them at a time. And then it's going to show me the days of the week in between there. And as activity is happening, it will go ahead and end on the appropriate day of the week, based on whatever the date is. So I'm always going to see 6 weeks at a time. If I switch over to month, I'm going to go ahead and see up to 24 weeks, but no more than 6 months at a time. So as I look across the top here, I'm going to see the months, and then these little ellipses here are going to display the weekly periods inside of those months. They might span between 2 months, where this one goes from February to March, for example. But you're going to be able to see that work across 6 months. One thing you'll notice is the period I'm on already includes today. So the today period for both week or month is always going to have this kind of dotted line running down that column, which represents simply that time period that it's focusing in on includes today. If I want to move forward or backwards on any of the month or week views, I can simply, with one click, go ahead and move that timeline forward or backwards. Let's say I move that backwards and I kind of get lost. I can always hit today to easily return back to the period that has today in it. Another thing we're going to notice real quick is current health up here is grayed out. So right now we're showing everything based on the current health, which just means if an action item is yellow right now, it's going to show it's yellow. If an action item is green right now, it's going to show it in green. If something is past due, so it's past its target date. So if I look down here at this create job description bar, I'm going to see that this thing, it started on January 1st. Its target date was March 1st. It's March 31st now. So this is telling me, hey, this is when it should have been completed. It was yellow at the time, but now it's gone on for a few weeks and it's red because it is past due. So a little friendly reminder there in that visual tooltip that'll give you some information if you have any questions on the status of something or the start dates and target dates, if you will. So that's something to point out is today we're going to do current health. Actually, in April, we're going to have an option in this pull down here for historical health where we will track the changes of health over time. So if something was green one week and then moves to red the next week, we are going to be able to show that historical health change on this chart over time. So that's just important to note out there that right now it's grayed out, but in the future release of April, you will have the ability to view that historical health. So as I continue to move across the top here, I can still filter things out. So I can only view KPIs. If I want to only view KPIs, that's going to go ahead and filter the screen down to the KPIs. So same filtering that was in place on the calendar view here with the type is still in play. Again, we showed you moving back and forward and then choosing today. The calendar view over here is helpful as well if you want to go further out in the future. And let's say I want to look at August 1st maybe. And you're going to notice I clicked August 1st. It's showing kind of August in the middle here. So it's always always going to show you a couple time periods, months or weeks going backwards, and then a couple time periods in the future. So you can always kind of get a good look what led up to this point and then what's going to move forward from this point. So just a little tip there. Same thing if I click back to today. We'll notice that today is always going to be in the middle, so it just gives you a quick, easy way to look backwards a few weeks or months, and then forward a few weeks or months as well. So now let's actually take a look at the grid itself. You'll notice everything is grouped by the plan it's in, so I see my plan names here with that little color indicator that separates each plan. These are collapsible or expandable as you want to see fit, so you can kind of clean things up that way if you would like. So I'm going to see the plan name, and then as I go through things, I'm going to see either the strategy or the objective that something is living under. So if an action item belongs to an objective, it's going to show this objective. So in this case, I know this little target icon represents objective. So that is showing me that objective and everything that lives below it. Career fairs, create a campaign, create a job description. If I go up to this one, it's got the strategy icon, so I know that one is a strategy. But it's going to group everything under each strategy or objective. Again, these are expandable or collapsible as you need. I can scroll down to see more information if there's too much data to fit on one screen. So just pretty user-friendly in that regards of being able to view everything from as much as you can on one page and give you some control over that. So as I look at the time bars now, so I'm going to hover above that, and again, it's going to tell me, okay, this thing started in March. Its target date is May 31st. So if I look out here, it's got the target in the time period for that week representing May 31st. So the little target icon is going to let you know when that thing is supposed to end. These are all, if I want to click on it and kind of move forward, I can keep that in focus. So clicking there will just put that one in focus. So as I click through here, I can go ahead and do that. One thing to really point out here and to take advantage of this screen is maybe this thing, I need to change it. So if I click here, I'm not going to get that right panel, but if I click on any of these names, they're hyperlinks. And what they're going to do is they're going to hyperlink out that quick access panel from the right-hand side. So maybe I need this thing instead of May 31st, it's going to end at the end of April. So it's going to update there. It's going to tell me to refresh, click there, and now that thing is ending or targeted to end on April 30th. Same thing for updates, so I can do anything from that right drawer. So career fairs, I can come in here and change any of these dates. I can go ahead and add progress notes from this. So really handy being able to click those hyperlink names and be able to access that quick panel. And as always in the upper right here, if I need to get a deeper look, I can click this navigator link, which will take me down into the plan in case I need to make some additional changes or take a look at more detail using that navigator. The other thing to point out here too is any of these custom filters will work with a timeline and calendar view. So any filters that I create with the custom filter functionality, I'm going to be able to use that same filter with both the timeline or the calendar view. So some of these filters I had created before. So if I want to see maybe my direct reports, it's going to show me everybody underneath me that reports to me, and I have now a screen that shows me all the visual data across here. So I can see over here on the left who's going to be included, what plans are going to be included. If I go down here, I can edit the filter if I needed to, or as always, click here to add a new filter. And those are your kind of filter options, which we'll cover or have previously covered in more detail. And there's some additional help documentation out there for custom filters also. All in all, that's a kind of a wrap on the timeline view. We really hope you enjoy it. I think it's got a lot of power to it. The things that you can do for managing your strategy execution, the flexibility it gives you to make changes on the fly, but it's really going to help reduce maybe some blind spots of work coming up and possibly some bottlenecks or places where maybe people are just overloaded with work. So we really hope you take advantage of it. and look forward to bringing you some additional changes with some more timeline enhancements next month. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.